Overconfidence got me good today, guys. I've taken a small red today, but thank God for some of the lockout features on Project X, and it kept me from not tilting, but just more or less I would have scalped back, no. Tough day today. It seems like everybody made money today, except me. Yeah, I'm having a red day today, believe it or not. Everywhere I seem to look, all my Instagram stories, my feeds, all my stuff in our trading community in the Black Shirt Club, everybody's green except me. So you're going to ask, why am I smiling? Well, I'm smiling because I set up some lockout features for Project X on my TopOne Futures 150K straight to funded accounts, and I basically got locked out. I would have taken another trade and probably scalp back to win and finish the day green. But you know what? I got locked out. It was a small red on the day. I got to stick to my rules. I got a little overconfident, tried to fight the trend, thought I would be the smart guy in the room and play along when clearly the market was telling me everything's short. So all in all, it just really humbled me, and that's the key. You got to be humble in this business, and when you get humbled, you just got to take it for what it is. So, a small dent in my green week, and I've been on this crazy high of green days. But when I look at the calendar, it's just a little blip. That's all it is, and I'll get through it, and I'm still up on the week, and we'll see how tomorrow goes, and finish the week off strong, and just keep pushing forward. So, another day being a dirty day trader. But let's have a look at the 15-minute chart when I got to the desk in the morning, and kind of what I was seeing and what led me to have my first winner and then my second trade a loser. And then in hindsight, when I look back, there were some things really screaming at me that I probably shouldn't have took that second trade the way I did, and I decided to fade the majority of the people in my trading community and fade Austin Silver, who's my mentor, to top it off. So it turned around and got me, but it is what it is. And like I said, I'm still smiling, so that's all that really matters. And I had a small red, but let's just have a look at the 15-minute chart and what I saw when I sat down at the desk. We had some price action yesterday where we finally looked to make, this lower low here, but looking back in the bigger time frame, I think there was just probably some liquidity down here. We had this big move up here. We probably wanted to take some of this out. We came back down to these lows, and that's kind of where we found support. And then, price just kind of pushed back up from there into the end of the session yesterday. And I believe we had some positive news. I'm going to say it was Chinese tariff talk or something, but something positive that, the sellers were clearly bringing price back down. But again, like I said, I just think there was, you had stacked lows here. Basically, you can even say 3 equal lows there, right? So let's just take some of that liquidity out. And then the buyer stepped back in. And like I said, I believe there was some bullish news. And into the overnight, it basically... Well, actually, the other thing I wanted to talk about was you had this into... What would that have been? Tuesday... Yeah, Tuesday into the overnight. Coming into FOMC, you had this push up. I think it was 2 candles, 60 points or something. So you could see throughout the day that some of this liquidity in here wanted to get taken out, and it clearly got taken out. And then this is actually, it wasn't news yesterday. I was done trading yesterday. I was one and done in the morning, and I was done, so I was not really paying attention. This is FOMC. And the buyer stepped back in at the end of FOMC and pushed price higher. And coming into the start of day, into the overnight last night, buyers are still in control, and clearly here, boom, we get another push up. And this, I believe, was news on Besant, the Treasury Secretary, talking with China, or talks would be going ahead. Oh, yeah, that. And I believe Trump had a big tariff announcement for this morning that was supposed to come out and drive the markets insane. But we'll talk about that when we look at the 1-minute chart. And clearly, buyers are in control here. This was a very interesting level. I already had this marked on my chart, which was a naked point of control at 57.14, which was basically the point of control from last Friday. And clearly you can see here, price clearly pulls up to it, respects that level, and then, you know, pushes through again and then starts to pull down. So coming into the morning, me looking at this chart, I could see price coming back to the start of day VWAP, pushing back up, taking the, you know, this point of control that it's already tapped technically, but, you know, just on the bullish side, this is kind of what I'm thinking. And then you even have this 5-day SMA down here. But, you know, if you really wanted to see a pullback and some of this liquidity taken out here now in hindsight, I could see it, you know, coming back to previous day's value area high. You got previous day's New York VWAP under you, doing something like that. Or if it comes and takes this level, I could see it just sliding, taking this low, boom. The bears fully step back in. But it's one of those markets looking at it, you know, I could see a pullback, but I don't see the price sliding. I see a pullback, but this is where I kind of, you know, skewed my bias. And then coming into the first trade, this is basically trade number one. So, you know, looking at this, you're looking short, right? You're making lower high, lower high, lower high. And clearly the buyers are trying to step back in every time, and the sellers just come at the New York VWAP and put their foot back on the gas. The CVD is like minus 1500, so it's not screaming to me short, but as you can see, price chop here on these three candles, the opening range is setting. This kind of is giving me a signal to want to get short. I'm seeing orders down here at 70 and 75. So that's as my target. I get short 10 micros. Price comes down, takes the 75s, and then, you know, you can see on these pins here, the buyers are able to, you know, pull the sellers back a little bit. So I decided to close half of the 10 micros just after this. I didn't get any follow through. I wanted to see this and that, and I wasn't getting it. So I was, you know, I'll take half the size off and realize some of the gains. Again, we're in these just weird market conditions that we really got to be aggressive taking profits. And again, price pulls back up to the opening range low, comes back down. But these two candles, and as this one's printing, it's got me even more worried. We got a low a day VWAP on here. The buyers seem to be holding it nicely. So I take 3 more off. I lock my stop, basically $20 into profit. I'm out 80% of the trade. I got 20% still left in. I want to ride this into this 10 o'clock tariff news. Well, what we weren't really taking into consideration was the news leak, you know, a few minutes before that. It seemed like the market had baked it in. The US and the UK were going to have a 10% tariff. It was going to stay intact, blah, 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 blah. That was Trump's big news, and it basically leaked before he got to say it. So we got no follow through on the downside. And what had happened now is I get stopped out here. I'm up 275 in 3 accounts. I could have took it for a little more, but you know what? At the end of the day, $300 is $300, $900 across the 3 accounts. I'm good with it. Now, where the issue arises here is now, again, like I said, overconfidence. I get into this second trade. And, you know, these candles, the way they printed and the way they held the low a day VWAP skewed me. This bullish hold and break back into the opening range low with these bullish candles skewed me. Again, we get the exact same thing. Sellers step back in here at the New York VWAP like they did previously. You get this bullish push down, but here at this low a day VWAP, the buyer step back in. 1, 2, 3, 3 minutes, 3 bullish candles, and we take the New York VWAP. What do I think? This is the bottom. You have price slowing here. We're going to see a push up through here. I get long. I'm looking for opening range high somewhere up here. And what happens? Literally, the candle I enter on, boom, comes right back down on me. Now, some people would say to have their stop down here. You know, my thinking where my stop was placed is basically I have a stop at just below the opening range low. That gives me this low a day VWAP where the buyer stepped in twice now to hold it, and gives me the opening range low to find support. If the sellers manage to take these 2 levels, I could just see this thing coming lower. There's no need for me to be in it down here, and take more of a loss. So I got a 10-point hard stop. Price turns on me immediately within 6 minutes, stopped out, minus 500 bucks on that trade. So overall down $200 in each account on the day. I have a 3 trade maximum on these TopOne Futures Project X accounts. After 3 trades, it locks me out of all my accounts. I copy trade all 3. And the one thing I'm still working on, but I'm going to leave it the way it is if you take size on or add size in, that counts as a trade. So basically, even though I had 2 trade ideas, trade management led me to have 3 trades. So I'm locked out. Now, a couple things I want to talk about, really important things I want to talk about. If I hadn't got locked out, I would have immediately seen what was happening here on Bookmap, and I'm watching Bookmap, and I see the CVD declining rapidly, orders coming on, getting filled, and then orders coming on below, telling me this is going to pull lower. I would have immediately got stopped out, flipped my bias, entered short, recovered the loss, and probably ended the day with a small green. Now, the issue that lies with that is, okay, I ended the day small green, but what did I do? I broke my rules, right? And I don't want to be reinforcing bad habits. That's something that's very easily done when it comes to day trading. Very, very easily done. You can have, break all your rules and have a green day and feel like you're king of the hill and justify everything. And it's terrible. I've been down that road so many times, and I can tell you personally, when you really sit back and think about those days, you don't feel very good about them. So I had to stick to my rules, and that's where the lockout features come in, because I wouldn't have probably stuck to that rule. I would have flipped my bias, gotten short, did something, and go from there. Now, the other thing I need to really pay attention to is, what is above me here at my entry? The start of day VWAP. Where have the buyers been throughout the overnight session above the start of day VWAP? The sellers had just regained some control of this. Now, with the buyers being so far above it and the sellers now taking control of it, you could see the sellers weren't going to give it up easy. Like, I just didn't think that was going to happen just yet, and I think the buyers are probably exhausted from the push up in the overnight. And the sellers just grinded them down. So this should have been a key level for me. New York VWAP, sure, key level, but I should have looked at this for a rejection, or a break of this before I got long, right? So I should have seen this, come back in the range, hold it, come again, hold the New York VWAP, break it, and do that again, and then get long, and then I would have been a beautiful play. So just me fighting the trend, thinking I'm being smart, gonna get the best price. The shorts are done here. They couldn't take this level. They kind of, price slowed down here, consolidated a bit, and you get these bullish moves up. So the next move is going to be that, and clearly it wasn't that. So a lot of hindsight, a lot of reflection. And if I hadn't locked the count out, I wouldn't have reflected on this trade like I did. I would have gotten short here, recovered my loss, end of the day, marked it up, been honky-dory and happy and walked away. But being locked out really forced me to have to sit here, mark this trade up really well and really think about it, and that's when this stood out. One other thing that really, really stood out to me, and I was having actually a conversation with another trader in the community, and we were just going over her chart and my chart and talking about some trades. Now, I entered that trade right here, right? So let's just zoom out. Let's zoom out 4 hours or something. I entered that trade right here, right on this candle. Look at this. Look, everything to the left. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. I should have waited for this level or this level to be broken before I would look at getting long, clearly. And what happens when you look at this? This is screaming short. I had no business being long at that moment in time. Everybody and their dog made money on this move down. Except me, I was locked out. So it is what it is. And as you can see, previous day's New York VWAP, previous day's value area high comes in support. Trump talks about China here, and what do we get? I'm locked out, and I could have made all that money all the way up. So, and a ton of people made a ton of money on that move, except me. But it is what it is. Let's have a quick glance at the calendar and be done with today and just move on. So there's my calendar for the week. I'm not mad. I'm still up $300 in the week. Finish tomorrow strong. Bring this number up a little more. It is what it is. Keep pecking away at these 150K straight to funded accounts. But all in all, $1,000 day, $200 day. Big green, small green, big green, small green. I want to call this a small red, but it's technically a big red. But at the end of the day, it's one red day out of 3 that I've traded so far. So as long as I can finish the week strong, I'll be okay. Click, subscribe, comment, the whole routine. Thank you for being here as always, as usual. And I'm going to be announcing next week. I'm going to be doing some giveaways. Going to be doing giveaways on some TopOne Futures, 50K evals. So definitely stay tuned. I'll start dropping probably Monday morning on stream on ASFX TV. I'll be on stream Monday morning. I'll drop some good little nugs then what my plan is with these giveaways. But I got 5 accounts to give away, and I'm excited to do it. And I'm excited to introduce people to TopOne Futures that haven't been trading with them yet. And they're having a wicked sale right now, and I got a discount code in the bottom. It's in my comments. It's 55% off right now. 55% off plus an anytime add-on bonus. So just huge. Definitely something I would be getting on, because you're never going to get these prices ever again. Like, I'm telling you now, unless there's something crazy happens, you'll never see even 50% off on these accounts. I think it'll be 35-40% max, probably 30, to be honest, 30 to 35%, and then you'll see the odd 40% sale. So if you're on the fence, you've been humming and hawing, I would get a few accounts. I don't make any money doing this. I'm literally started doing this for the love of doing it. I love TopOne as a company. I've met the owners. I've traded with them for a while now. I've taken a payout. So it's something, I'm really comfortable talking about, but, I don't make any money in any other way doing this. So if you're going to buy an account, please support me. If you're not, don't. I totally cool, man. Watch my videos every day. I'm here for you, right? I love it. And, but yeah, like I said, if you're going to spend money on an account, you just use my code, and I would appreciate it. And if not, I'll just keep following along. And when you're ready to buy an account, please let me know, or just reach out and comment, or hit me up. And my other socials there, please follow me on X and Instagram. And I'm actually starting a podcast today with another group, 2 other traders, struggling traders like me. So stay tuned. Lots of new, fresh, exciting stuff to come in. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Cheers.